So today I am going to share with you my 9 makeup tips that all mature women should know. I hope you are all having a great day. I am excited about this video. I'm going to start off discussing what I do to prep my face before applying my makeup. And what I like to do is make sure to start off with a clean face, washing my face. And then I either will use a vitamin C serum or an exfoliant, an AHA, which would be my glycolic acid toner. And then I add a moisturizer, and then I add my sunscreen. But one thing I've also liked to add to my routine is this. It's from Bella Terra Oils. It's green coffee bean oil. And why I like to add this is because it has caffeine in it. So it's going to help me reduce any sort of puffiness that I might have woken up to, as well as it's really moisturizing my eyes. And so I kind of put that on, let it set. You definitely want to tap away any excess before you start adding any makeup to it. But I leave the bottom part on a little bit longer where my eye bags are. And then up here, I just kind of tap away. Now, my first tip for maturing eyes, and this is for everybody. If you put on your eyeshadow and you notice that it's gone, throughout the day, or it settles into creases and things like that, it's not going to change the older you get. It's only going to get worse. So it's really important to prime your eyes so that your makeup really has something to adhere to. And if you've seen any of my videos, you know I love this Milani eyeshadow primer. And this little tube, I know it's small, but I'll need to actually record how long it lasts me, because it seems to last forever. And you want to take the tiniest amount. That's all you need. And that's for both eyes. And unlike some other eye primers, this one really does not neutralize any discoloration or anything like that. This is strictly to help keep your eye makeup on. But I've really, really enjoyed this. Okay. Another thing I want to share with you, I bought these changeable fantasy eyeshadow palettes off of Amazon. And I want to say they were maybe $10 to $15 a piece. I didn't realize I got 2, but there are a ton of colors. And I had them in my drawer for the longest time, and I wasn't pulling them out because you get used to using the same ones you're kind of comfortable with. And so I was really impressed with all of the different colors. They're very small pans, but this is a great product to have to really try out different colors and different looks. But what blew me away was how incredibly blendable they are. I was very, very impressed with the quality of these. So I am going to be using this with my eye look today. And when you're talking about contouring your eyes, your face, whatever, what you're wanting to kind of keep in mind are the 3 different tones that you'll have. So you'll basically have, especially for your eye, you're going to have a lighter, a medium, and then a darker. And the light is to bring out that area of the eye, which would be your, right here, your eyebrow bone a bit, and then your eyelid. And by bringing those out and then adding more of the medium color in your crease, it recedes that area back. And it's a great way to really start defining your eye in a flattering way. Now, then you can add into the crease a darker color. Now, I'm not saying you're just limited to 3 colors, but you're just think of them in different shades. So, you know, like you might have this, and I will show you how I always do my eye, is I will start off with a very light matte color, and I will put that pretty much throughout my eyelid, but mostly underneath the brow, because I am going to want that area light, and I may add a little bit of highlight or not. I mean, this might just be enough. But then I also like to add it on my eyelid. For me, keeping your eyelid bright makes your eye look a little bit more open. And so I can add darker colors even on my eyelid, but I keep that more like in the corner. And then I might add something nice and bright on the inner part, and that really helps keep my eye open. So the next shade, and what I am going to do is really play up these browns. There's quite a few. It's great because you can start off lighter and build up as you go. And then I will probably have a darker color, and what I want to use is this navy, and just show you how pigmented and impressive these shades are. But the navy is then acting as the darkest shade. And then for the eyelid, I might add maybe a little bit of a lighter gold, something like that and that, but keeping it really kind of bright, especially in that center. So let's go ahead and get started. So I am going to go in with this combination right here, just starting out with those colors, tapping off the excess. You always want to do that. And then putting that right there in the crease. I wish I could learn how to put makeup on without making the most ridiculous faces, but and what you really want to do here is take the corner of your nose, the corner of your eye up to your eyebrow. You don't want anything going further down. All that's going to do is drag your eye down. And so with your eyeshadows and then even with your eyebrows, you want to keep that line above that. So here I have added, added some definition there. Now, another thing that I'm having to adjust for a little bit is a little bit more of a sagging of my eye. So what you want to do is kind of blend up just a bit higher. And by doing the circular motions, what that's doing is really blending the eyeshadow upward towards the eyebrow and adding that nice blend. That's what you're wanting. Now, doing the sweeping motions like this, the windshield, that's just getting it into your crease. Okay. So now I am going to go in with a slightly darker color. So I did these two. Now I'm going to kind of do this right here. And just build up the intensity just slightly. I'm not going to go up as much as I did the first time, but what I'm really trying to do is intensify that crease color. It's still medium tones, but adding a little bit more definition. And so I'm just going to be focusing really a lot more into that crease. And you still kind of want to do the circular motions, but you're just really kind of keeping the darkest part more in that crease. Okay, so now I've got that done. Now we can go in with how I'm going to do the eyelid. And so what I would like to do is kind of keeping with it lighter. I'm going to mix this and this right there, these two colors. So it's like a white metallic mixed with a gold. So it should come out very, very bright. And I'm going to go in on the very inner corner and just sweep it kind of towards the middle. I'm going to be doing something on the outer. There you go. So I love this trick. I'm taking a black at this point and really, again, thinking of that line, adding that up as a little cat flick or wing or whatever you want to call it. And I take it up to about there. Now, if this is a little bit more dramatic than you're interested in going, you can just use your eyeliner. You don't need to add a cat flick. But what I like to use this for is actually defining that inner corner. So I take the eyeshadow to about halfway. Another thing is you don't, depending, I mean, everybody has different preferences, different eyes, this and that. I personally don't like lining my whole eye. It just really closes up my eye and makes it look smaller. So where I try to keep the definition, the dark, is on middle to out. And then under my eye, it's even like more of like just a third, just right there in that corner. So now that I've got the that edge defined, I'm going to kind of just push it in a little bit because that's where I'm going to be adding the navy. And navy is tricky because I've been tempted and I've bought navy eyeshadows before, and there is absolutely no color payout. So I was kind of disappointed. And then when I saw this in here, I was like, well, let's try this. And I was very happily surprised with how much pigment it had. So what you want to do is focus on this V right here. So I'm patting it in there. And really keeping it contained to that area. I don't want to put too much into the crease because that is just going to be more blending out. So we are going to blend it in with the crease just partially, but where I'm really wanting to do is keep it like right there. Okay. Now, if you wanted to use, say, if you wanted a much more natural, softer eye, you could say go maybe another step deeper with your browns here and add just a touch there as well. And it would be a little bit less stark like this one. But I wanted to play today. So then I go back and start blending this in a little bit because we want to marry it with the transition shade. And I like to blend it just about halfway up the crease. No more. Now, to further add a gradient, I am going to go in and take this bronzy shade right here with my finger and just tap this between the navy and the other eyeline and the other eyeshadow, and just add a little bit of a gradient effect. There you go. Now I'm going to go back into that first transition shade. And just do a little bit more blending. Whenever you're dealing with a darker color like this, you really do need to blend and blend and blend. So I've already completed my eyeliner, and now I'm going to go in and do my my mascara. I'm going to go ahead and just do it on off camera because, you know, it is what it is. But I also will be adding a few individual false lashes. So I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. So another thing that I did want to mention is the different kinds of eyeshadows. Matte is a very, very beautiful look. So if you can do an all matte eye using the different, you know, light, medium, and dark, then you're going to have a very, very pretty eye. Then there are the shimmers and foils. Those are the ones I like. That's where, you know, you put it on with your finger and it just has a lot of payout. But then there's glitter, and I guess I've never really been much of a glitter fan, but especially now, it doesn't look as good on me. And so if I am adding a little bit more of a sparkle effect, I really do try to keep that right on the eyelid, and that's pretty much it. I don't like glitter because it's so messy. I mean, it gets everywhere. It's actually not even good to get it in your eyes. So we have eyeshadows that are not safe for your eyes, and that doesn't make any sense to me. So I pretty much try to stay away from the glitter when I'm dealing with my eyeshadows. Another thing that I really have to say about the eye palette that I just showed you, there was no fallout. Even with that dark navy, I didn't experience any fallout. Now, if you do, that's why I like to do my eyes first, because then you can do some cleanup. But you see a lot of people take like makeup wipes and wipe it off like that. I don't like doing that because then it's taking off all your moisturizer, your sunscreen, everything else. So what I really try to do is just pat away, maybe even take a real gentle cloth and just kind of try to dab away as much of it as I can without disturbing my, you know, everything that I've been, you know, I've put under my eyes thus far. So now we're going to go to the concealer. And this is another really important makeup tip for mature eyes, is that less is more. And I have been using this Incognito Wet n Wild, and I've absolutely loved this one. And I really try to focus it. Now, it depends on your eyes and where you need it, but I need it kind of like right there in that trough line. And you don't want to go up under your eye. You just want to place it there, and then I put it underneath my eye bag. Then with a damp blending sponge, I just press it in, trying to keep it in those locations. Now it's going to blend all over, and that's fine, but we really don't need to add a ton. And this has been a real shift in the way I was doing my under eyes. I still love using my more oil-based concealer, the Dermacol, I think is what it's called. My problem was, no matter how hard I tried, I just always put on way too much. And then you end up spending all of that time pulling it off. And this area is so delicate and it gets irritated pretty easily. So right there, I've brightened up my dark stuff. I like to do this one in 2 steps. So when I conceal, I'll do my under eyes and then I go back in. And I love this little doe foot. It's very small and it's kind of flat. And some of the other ones, they have these really thick doe foot and you just get way too much product on. So here, what I'm wanting to do is then start concealing the face. And what you want to do is bring out and lighten the higher points and getting rid of shadows. So like right here is where you want it bright. Along your nose, if you do this, you're already working on slimming your nose. If you've got the nasolabial folds, that's a good place to brighten and get rid of those shadows. I also have these marionette lines, and so adding a little bit of brightness there, and then just the tip of your chin. And by that, you're just brightening up those spots. And then again, just pressing it in. This blends so beautifully, and it is such an affordable concealer. I absolutely love it. And then just another thing that I play with techniques, and the ones that stick for me are the ones that take the less time and are the easiest, obviously. So switching from a brush to a sponge to for my concealer application has really been a good one for me. Another thing I'm going to suggest, and I've been doing it a lot more lately just because in the summer, you really don't want to feel your makeup on you. And I absolutely love my makeup. My my Wet n Wild foundation. I love this. It's very thin. It applies beautifully, but you can actually start getting away with not even using foundation if you maybe have a tinted moisturizer, or my sunscreen. I use the Australian Gold and I have it tinted, and that provides me enough coverage at times. I'm not saying I do that all the time. Sometimes you do want to add your foundation, but it's another thing that limits having things on your skin settling in. So if you have a foundation that you absolutely love, that you put on, and it does make your skin look better, more youthful, more even, like without any makeup settling into it, great, use it. But if you are struggling with seeing that you can actually see the makeup on your skin, that's when it can get really frustrating, and it does actually aid you quite a bit because you're seeing this mask. So today I am going to leave this like, without the foundation. Well, actually I better add my foundation because I do want to show you my application, even though my application hasn't changed, but I do want to go over that again. And so what I like to do is take my foundation. Another thing that you may start realizing, and I always thought, oh, I love full coverage. Actually don't. That's when you feel that mask. That's when you feel that it's a little bit harder to blend. It's a little bit less natural on the skin. but depends on your product. So this one for me is more of like a medium coverage. And I've got it both in the matte as well as more of a natural finish. And it's got this little spatula, and I like to evenly put it on the back of my hand. And I really limit the amount of product. So it's just like that. And then I take my brush and really try and evenly get it on there. And then I just focus on the areas that, you know, you are wanting coverage, like where you may have some sun damage, my forehead. But I start there, putting it on in there, just a super light layer all around. And basically the brush is just getting the foundation on and starting the blending. Okay. I really don't go down my neck. The only time I will do that is if I have a foundation that is either, it's not my right, it doesn't match my neck. So if it's too light or too dark, then I might have to kind of blend it out a little bit. But generally, if it's a good match, then I don't usually do that. And then what I'll do is take the sponge and just further blend, further make sure that there's not little streaks, or there's not extra product sitting on my skin. I didn't go up under my eyes with my foundation. The concealer is enough, just one layer of everything. Then what I will do, I've given my eye concealer a little bit of time to settle in as much as it's going to. So then what I like to do is just pat with my finger, making sure, again, I'm getting off any extra product. And then I'll just take a setting powder. This is Hydra Perfect from L'Oreal. And I just go in and pat that on in there, getting it set. And then I'll go ahead and, with a different brush, go in and just set the rest of the face. Focusing more on the center, but what I like to do is set it so that when I apply my blush and my bronzer and all of that, it doesn't skip and drag. It seems to be a little bit more smooth. So then I go in with my bronzer. I'm still using my Butter Bronzer. I love this one. I do have some other ones that I've been enjoying as well, but I like what I like. And placement of your concealer, you're brightening along, imagine your face is a heart. So everywhere where I added, brightness was within that heart. Now the contour is on the perimeter of that. So I'm trying to keep, except for my nose, the contour on the outside of that heart. So I will start with the cheeks, following again. So remember the line that went like this? Here I start at where my ear attaches and along my bone. And if you've seen my videos, you've seen me do this now for a while, is I start about an inch or two right there. And then I turn this and drag it along the underneath of my bone where the shadow would be. And by doing it this way, it's wider here and then it tapers in like that. And I'm not bringing it in more into here. I'm keeping it, like I say, on the perimeter. And then as we age, we start getting a little bit of hollowness here. So there is no need to add any, concealer there. But where I will conceal is on the top here of my forehead. And this just really gives you a nice sun-kissed glow. And it also will shorten your forehead, make it look smaller. Okay. And then I will go in and do my neck. And this is where I have really found it a vital step, because underneath here needs concealing quite a bit. So what I do is I start along that ridge, and I might even go just a touch up here, because that is where things are starting to go down like this. And so by kind of adding a shadow there, it helps lift and strengthen your jawline. So, and then you want to do all of your extra here. You don't want to do too much to where it's like ridiculously dark, but generally people are not that crazy about that part of their neck as they get older. And to make it then blend in with the rest, I like to take it down both sides of my throat and then up around that curve, and then on back, so it looks blended out. You don't want any harsh lines. And this particular contour slash bronzer does not have any like metallic. It's a matte. So that is what's good to have. If you had something that was either too orangey, too sparkly, that might not work very well for you. And then what I'm going to do is work on my nose. And this is a new application as well. And I like it because it's quick and it's effective. So because I've already lightened the center, we're ahead of the game. But what I do right here is where I want it to look thinner, more refined. And so I kind of pat right in the center on both sides. And this is applying the most of the contour. And then once it's there, then I can gently blend up the nose and down just a little. And I really like that because you're not, if you draw the line real hard, then it's sometimes hard to blend out. And then you end up going back and forth, back and forth. Whereas this seems to just be fine. Now what we're gonna do is add the blush. And this is a new product to me. And I'm actually really warming up to it, because I'm not one who uses that many different cream products. I don't like, I can't say I don't like it, I don't buy them, is the cream concealers and this is my first cream blush that I've bought, and I actually really have liked it. And you can put it on and then dab it with your fingers. I really don't like doing that. I think I still like using the brush just because that's, you know, how I normally apply my blush. And with this particular one, it's Wet n Wild Mega Glow blush, a makeup stick, and it's beautiful. And it seems like it blends in and applies almost easier. So I just apply it the same place, put it where I want it, and I always kind of start in the middle and then just blend out. It's a completely different application than your contour, where you start here and then go here. This is where I want my color, and then I just diffuse it out on up. And the placement of your blush is basically, you have your concealer here, you want your blush just slightly above, you know, on top of it, and maybe slightly up. Okay, and then I do add a little bit here to make it look like I'm a more sun-kissed. You can, you know, carry it on your nose too. I wasn't sure how I was going to like this blush, but I really, really do like this. I think it's very, very pretty, but again, the application is just so easy. So that really does help. So now that we've got that done, then we go into highlight. And the highlight kind of goes a little bit hand in hand, obviously, with your concealer in areas. So again, think of the heart. We're going like this, the high points of your face. So that would be along here. You can even go up here, down your nose, up in there. I don't put it on my Cupid's bow. I know a lot of people do. I'll do that with my lip products if I want that area highlighted. And then I leave my chin alone. As a matter of fact, I might even dust a little bit of bronzer, just kind of like right there. More on the underside, but still adding a little bit of shape to it. So once I've got all of my blush, highlighter, and contour on, I then take my foundation brush and just sweep along all the edges, making sure that it's nice and blended. And then I follow that up with another dusting of the powder, just kind of in those same areas, just further blurring everything and making sure that it all looks nice and seamless. Now, if you feel like you've taken away maybe blush by doing that, you can just add a little bit back. There. All right, now I've got a couple of different eyebrow products. This one is the Good Brow Day, and it is from Profusion, and it comes with this setting gel, and it's a tinted gel, which I have to say I'm not that crazy about. I'm still trying it out, but what I don't like is it seems to, I like a clear one because you can just brush and be like not particular. It's clear and it's not gonna get places where you may not want it to be. So I would probably then go back to my Control Freak. And this one, I really do like it. But what I do like about this brow product is it's one of those really, really tiny pencils. Another way I love doing my eyebrows is with just my eyeshadow, and with a flat brush, I just get them on like very, very quickly. This method I think is still super easy. It's a little bit more precise. So those, you know, when you really, really want to make sure it looks perfect. Again, keeping this line in mind, you don't want to go further than that. And I do think this way is just, you know, it's pretty quick as well. And I do like this technique. Some other products that I've used maybe have a little bit of a thicker pencil and maybe a little creamier, and that I don't like it as much as this. These Elf has one just like this as well. They're very thin and they're a little bit more on the drier side, so it doesn't seem like you can get, you know, it prevents you from getting carried away too much. And so then I just will brush it through, and brushing my eyebrows up. And then by setting them in place, I'm going to go ahead and use my Control Freak. Just by brushing them up, you've just thickened your eyebrows like twice as much. Maybe not, but it does make your eyebrows look a little bit thicker, which is nice. Now for the under eye, I am going to go back in with a color like what I started off with, the transition shade. And so this is a lighter color. It's more of a medium tone. So you can then carry this a little further in than, say, a darker color. Like if I was going to use the blue or a black, I definitely would want to leave that right on the outer third of my eye. But this one can go in a little bit more. And so you're defining your eye, but you're not closing it up or making it look too heavy. Now this color is a matte color. Now for a little added definition, I am just going to take my flat brush that I did my eyeliner with, and I'm just going to tap that like right there, just a tiny bit. And this is another thing I've been doing. I don't think it has anything to do with mature eyes or anything else. It's just my preference. But I use this NYX eyeliner in golden bronze. And I like to add this along the waterline. And again, it's not darkening up my under eye too much, but it's adding a little bit of sparkle and a little bit of, you know, defining my eye. So that is it for the eyes, the face, and now I guess we are the last step are the lips. One product I have really, really been enjoying is this Buxom Hush Hush pencil. And it is a bigger pencil. I wish this would be the size of a regular one. So you can see it's quite a bit bigger. There's several different ways you can do your mouth. And generally, like I would line my lips, then put lipstick on, then maybe add a lighter lipstick in the center and add a little bit of dimension that way. This way is kind of doing it backwards, and I think it's a little bit more forgiving. So I will use my like a longer lasting lip product. This is the Superstay 24 Hour, and this is a very, very, very light nude. When I got it, I wasn't happy with it. I put it on, it was really cakey. It was just way too light for me. And so my technique here is getting off as much product as possible and just putting it on. Getting it on there. And I guess what I like to do is if I absolutely hate something, then you're like, you know, okay, I either maybe give it to somebody else, whatever. But sometimes I like the challenge to see if, oh, let me see how I can make this work. And so since I like to add a lighter color more in the center, I thought this will work. Then I take this one and I line my lips as normal. And this is so thick, it lines it, but it also is contouring your mouth. And it's way more blended. It's blending in to the first product. So as you can see, this lip product is not doing me any favors. But this one does. I love the color. It's a little bit deeper of a nude, and I am one, I really do generally wear nudes and things like that. So this is kind of where I'm more comfortable. But there are some nudes that work for me and there are some that don't. This one doesn't. So what I'll do is then line it like I normally do. And because my lips have aged and gotten thinner, I slightly overline. I really don't push it. I try to maybe overline just a bit, but what bothers me with, you know, what's kind of going on is my corners go down like that. So I bypass this whole corner area. That's why this actually is good, because it's so light, it's not adding any definition there. So I take the lip pencil and I go just to about there. I stop like right there. Okay, and then go up. Again, stop around there. And then I just line the bottom as normal. And there you go. Another product that I bought that I thought would be a good topper are these lifter glosses from, I'm sure, Maybelline. Yep. And this one is a beautiful color. It's Petal. And you think you think it's going to be a nice lip gloss to put over. These things are pigmented. I mean, they're like lipstick and lip gloss in just this product. So when I put it over this, it pretty much wipes out the lighter color. It really goes well with my my liner. These colors go really well together, but that's the only color you'll see. You're not going to see then this definition that you're not going to see the lighter color. So what I've been doing instead is the other section of this is the gloss, and I will just use that over everything. And it feels so good, and it's just a clear gloss, but man, it really pulls this look together. So where the lip product sets up, it's kind of dry looking, it's really not flattering. Once you put this part on, it looks really, really nice. Will I buy this again? I don't think so, probably not, but I do feel like I have managed to really make it work, and I do wear this look quite a bit. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this makeup tutorial. I hope you got something out of this. If there are some things that you still have questions about or would like me to cover, please let me know that in the comments below. I would be happy to. And if you could please do me a favor, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you're enjoying my content. That will really help out my channel a lot. So I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you soon.